Okay. Oh, my girl, lady. Oh man, that's funny. Okay, just making sure. All right,
You good?
I'm good. Yep, I feel
Okay,
good. I feel fine.
All right. So your name and where you're from? Let's get the audio level.
Monifah, Harlem, New York, East Side. Good. All right.
Good morning this morning. This is Shit Ain't the Same. If this is your first time, welcome. If you always come, I appreciate your support. Please make sure that you subscribe and share. And I'm hearing this a little bell down there that you're supposed to click to make sure you turn it on, to make sure that you get the notifications every time I post. Okay? So y'all know I always have some amazing friends, and I'm here with the incredible Monifah. Y'all know the vibe. Y'all know the hits. Y'all know the voice. So I had to have Monifah on this couch so we could talk about love, life, parenting, both of us parenting in the 90s. It was crazy. So y'all about to hear it, and I hope that I hope that she inspires you guys how she inspires me. Monifah, shout!
Hi, baby.
You on the
Thank you for
couch.
having me.
Thank
Thank you.
you
This is
for
dope. I finally
coming.
made it.
Thank you for coming.
Of
I
course.
appreciate
Of
it.
course. I was looking forward to it after I saw, I've been watching what you've been doing and who you've been, and you're really good at this.
Thank you.
So I'm inspired.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for having me, sis. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And fun fact about me, I stutter.
Yeah, you,
And it's crazy. I
I
have a
never knew
stutter.
that. As long as I know you, I didn't
I
know that.
have a stutter. So that's one of the things that held me back as well.
Well,
So
I'm so glad
it
you
held
just
me
said
back.
F it
It
and just
held me
said,
back. I just say, like, forget it. If I
yeah,
stutter a little bit, I just stutter a little bit.
yeah.
Whatever. It is
Who
what
is
it
a
is.
human?
Yeah.
All that stuff is out the window. Like this is me. Like, look, this is me, and this is all of me. That's it.
I'm
That's
glad you
about.
made it. I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
made it.
Me too.
So let's start from the beginning.
What's up?
Right? I know that, in the beginning, like, did you always know you could sing? Like, what even brought you to music?
Well, on my mom's side, musically inclined family from on my mom's side, and her mom. My grandmother was a singer. Sang. Of course, choir, church, little groups. My mother sang. My uncle was a piano prodigy. And my uncle played the guitar, like so, then my grandmother taught herself. Well, she didn't teach herself. She learned to play the guitar. Like she had to be about 65, and we thought it was funny. All grandkids, we would have to sit. We went over there to have dinner. We would have to listen to her play her little lessons and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was really cool because she was
That
doing
is
something for herself.
cool.
She raised 6 kids
Uh-huh.
and living in Brownstone, Brooklyn, and just she said, "Shoot, retired. I'm learn how to play the guitar." So I'm pretty sure that a lot of my creative stuff, as far as the vocals and the bug came from that side because I also act. I've been professional since 7.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now you're really in the game. You've been in the game since like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So like
As
what was that
artist.
like to actually be a recording artist?
I was yoing. Like it was, I knew that I was gonna be, like when I was a kid, I visualized, I would do concerts in the living room. So the visualization was there. And that's why there's one of the things I always say about being an adult is that we have to remember and always, if you had it, if you could recall it as a child, what you envisioned for yourself. And like I know a lot of us, you know, I don't care. It didn't have to be about being famous or being somebody that a lot of people know. It didn't have to be about music. It could have been about being a writer or, which is awesome, or whatever, being in tech or whatever it is.
Right.
You're envisioning it and you're doing it actively every day because that's what kids do.
Right.
We imagine, you know, our imagination is on 10 zillion. We're not as jaded, hopefully. We're not dealing with so much, or it's part of our escape, you know. But I saw, like, I did concerts and I saw myself and I saw the people. That's what I did. So I know that there's a level of that got me to where I became someone that was able to fulfill her dreams.
And they always say, if you can see it, you can
be it. It's really, really.
If you can
that's
see
why it's
it,
cliche.
you can do. I learned how to braid in a dream.
Wow.
I learned how to braid in a dream. I woke up
that.
one morning. I had a dream that night that I was braiding my sister's hair.
Right.
And I woke up and I could actually do it. I could actually do it.
Because sometimes it's awakened.
I felt like I was really doing it.
You were. Because you did it before. It's in your soul.
Felt like that.
It's a soul tie. You know what I'm saying? And soul ties are not just with people, it's with our talents and things because I discovered things like when I got sober, I discovered things about myself that I was like, and I knew I was creative, but you know, like you partying and doing other things, distracting yourself or escaping or whatever, and you're not, moving. I'm working. I'm not really giving time to that part of myself that is super creative. I crochet very well.
Right.
I went and got, I didn't get my hours, but I went and got my, I went to school for doing hair. I went to cosmetology school for hair and all these things. Like I was making wigs, like while I, like just realizing that my talents abound. I taught myself how to sew. I was like, wow, like I'm all around. And I knew this, but just having that time that I wasn't given to like nonsense and things that were distracting me from really learning myself and cultivating those talents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just singing. Right. It's not just, you know what I'm saying? And if I was serious, I always know that I would have been a therapist or like psychologist or something like that.
No, you.
And I feel like there's
exactly
a part of
where
me
you're supposed to be, right?
Oh, for sure. Like I definitely believe that.
Because what are we going to do about Monifah's voice?
Well,
real. Like once I got to know you, as a person, it just was so different. Me from Virginia, everything was so far fetched.
Right.
Will I ever be able to touch this person?
Right.
Will I ever be able to be friends with this person and cultivate, relationships with these people? I never thought that it would
happen. Yeah. But follow your dreams and see how things intersect.
Yes.
So
yes,
and you at the top of your game. You came in, you were modeling, right?
Yeah.
And so then you meet all kinds of people, and then you go into and that it's like an extension of what you were already in is creativity, and so you went into another expressive way of expressing that, and you made people look beautiful. Like you look every day that you wake up in.
I love that. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. So I heard you mention being sober, right? How long have you been sober?
I was sober. Well, clean. I'm still clean, but sober. I drink champagne.
Right. Okay.
I drink champagne. Like I had stopped everything 10 years.
Oh, okay.
But now I'll have me some champagne, and
I love that.
That's okay.
No, I love that.
And I'm looking forward. I'm kind of like I'm about to fast, and because I'm, I have weight on me that I need to get off.
Right, we all do.
I know, but I just
and it's harder at this age.
Menopause.
It's so.
It is. The motivation. I got to find it. I just have to find a discipline because the motivation is not always going to be there.
Right.
And I know this. You gotta put. And when I did it, I had the greatest results. Like even when I was getting on a train to go train with my guy Ja, because it felt so good, and I found somebody that just got it. It was fun, and so I have to find that within myself because now that I know, I could do it.
You could do it.
Yeah. And I want to look. I like clothes. I want to look good in my clothes.
And just take one day at a time.
Yeah, I am.
And that's what I do. When I'm working out, I work out at least maybe 4 or 5 times a week.
And you look. That's good.
I get on my treadmill. I got my treadmill right at the foot of my bed.
I love it.
Even if I'm doing 10 minutes, Mo,
it doesn't matter.
You don't even do not set yourself like, oh, I gotta do an hour.
Oh yeah, no.
If I don't have an hour, or I gotta do 30 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes.
No, I know, and I know this. I know.
Yes.
And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. No, because I'm pookie. I gotta be set up with everything. This is in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Matter of fact, I've been saying this for the last week, and I'm just gonna do. and then let everything fall into place. Because I'm one of those people, like I think I need to have, this is why I talk myself out of
Think you
things.
need to have.
Think I need to have this ready and this ready, but I really need to start.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because I know for me, you know, once I get started, I do get that momentum and I do keep going. And I wake up sometimes and I don't want to do this shit.
You just get it, and then you end up happy you did, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want to do it. And you're not going to feel like you want to do it every
That's
day.
what I'm saying. That's why discipline and not motivation is what you have to establish that discipline for yourself.
Yeah.
Because discipline is what's going to keep you going, because you're not going to always be motivated. That's
And it's
not
our
a given.
health too.
Yeah, we're older. We have to be healthier. We have to, especially with everything that's going on. I mean, I'm planning on getting out of here anyway. But still, you still want to, I still need and want to work.
Yeah.
And I do want to be, my best. So I have 7 grandchildren.
Ooh.
So I definitely want to be around for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it raising kids in the 90s? I know for me,
I hardly did it. I had a village, and I had my mom. And, because I was out of town working, there was, I wasn't really emotionally ready for Kimmy, and thank God that I had my mom. And it was tough. She got the rough end of it emotionally. When I, as I look back on it, I don't know if you saw the episode with her, with she and I were on Ayanla.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot then, and a perspective is and I knew that I couldn't argue with her experience of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or defend it. Like it just is. And I'm just glad that I have the level of self-awareness and accountability that I have. Because as women, that's tough for us. But God gave me a little something that I'm very grateful for, is to be able to call my own BS. And it always, so when I was doing something weird, it was probably intentional and very selfish. And it was, when I say intentional, not to be hurtful, but just because for whatever I needed, it was all about me. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding there was things that I needed to work through, and things that I was holding that in turn left me a little emotionally unavailable to a Kimmy.
Just just I didn't even know this was gonna go this way.
It's okay. I get it, girl, because sometimes I'll think about when I would,
but just
my baby probably
it,
felt so lonely.
I mean, but that you didn't defend how she felt about you.
I couldn't do it.
It just put me, at a place, with me and my mom. I just feel like, it's always defense, where we can't really have a conversation.
Right, because she doesn't understand that it's not about you.
I'm not attacking her.
Right. This is how I experienced it.
Yeah, it's just my experience. I just want to share with you what I was feeling during this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just make it so difficult. Right. And even watching that episode and just hearing you talk about it, it just hit me. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish, and it feels like that sometimes we're not going to get the closure that we need. I mean, the mother-daughter dynamic anyway is super, super, super nuanced. Yeah. It is very unique. And I'm a daughter as well, with a mother that went through a lot. She did the best that she could, and like the first time I saw her as a human being, and not like I call it, like not without my 12-year-old, like my 12-year-old eyes. She called me, she was in pain, and my mother's like really stoic, and and she called me, she was in pain. I never really saw my mother cry, not even when my brother died. Like it took her months, and I never even saw. She was in pain, right? And she's in the hospital, and she just looked it was the first time it was like this veil was lifted. I was like, I saw the woman, I saw the human, and not mommy. Yes. All knowing, or that, from that childlike space. And I was like, oh shit, it's like, it's me. Like that's when the change of guard, so to speak, happened. Where it was like, I became I don't want to say the parent, but I became the caregiver. Right. At that point, I saw the
switch.
Yep. And then I was able to, even up until I'm gonna share something with you. Like we had this thing, and she was in my house, and it was me and Therese and her, and we were talking, and she said she's very self-absorbed, like, but it comes from a feeling of worthlessness. Like I get it because I know the things that she's gone through. She shared things with me. So in a space of how that could affect you, I see how like she was embarrassed by her teacher and calling her, she missed the answer, and like, what are you, stupid, and embarrassed her in front that stayed with her. My mother is 85 years old. She can't remember something that may have happened the other day,
Right.
but she remembers
remember
that.
that.
Okay, and it really bled into how she lacked a lot of confidence, so she didn't do a lot of things that she could have done
Right.
because she's brilliant. But she did instill a lot of things in me. Like she would make me. I was an avid reader, so was she. Like I got that from her. She would, she would give me vocabulary words to put in sentences, and so I like my vocabulary is on point. I love reading. I love the art of writing in the English
Right.
language. Like I go from the curb to the boardroom,
Right.
or from the pauper to the
Yes.
prince. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very easily. I'm
Right.
able to. But I was. What I'm saying is that I was able to. She said I was crying to her and sharing with her something, and I was just releasing, and she was like I know she's hurting, and I can't even get up and give her a hug. In that instance, when she said that, you would think that it would hurt my feelings, but for me, it lifted everything, and I was like, how sad is that she can't even physically embrace me, because that I can't even imagine what that feels like in her skin. And I said, the compassion and empathy that I felt for her erased. It just erased everything. It
Because
made
she
me
physically
see her as a
couldn't, or
human.
she just couldn't.
She couldn't.
Emotionally couldn't.
She couldn't get there.
She
She
couldn't
she's
get there.
calcified all the stuff.
Wow.
But
You just answered, like, opened up a door for me too.
I think that's why I share it, because
Yeah.
the perspective of that shifted I need you to know and say, so you can say you're sorry, or expecting some kind of, if she can't give you what she don't have. And if you know some of her story, so maybe the opening up, like just kind of, hey ma, like I need to know. I would like to know.
have.
So she doesn't talk. She doesn't like to talk about
She
it.
don't want to have no conversation.
Yeah, it must be
Everything
very
is an
painful stuff.
attack, and I'm
Wow.
not attacking her.
Just asking her about herself.
Just everything is an attack.
Yeah,
I told you I didn't. It's
that's-
always a thing. And so
that's
all
pain, and
my
that's
life,
that
even
level
before
of,
I even had kids,
yeah.
even before I even had kids, I said, when I have a kid, I am gonna listen to my kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this for my kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that for my kids.
Yeah.
And I did everything I did as a parent. Gave my kids everything that I wanted from my mom.
And that's so
I
funny.
gave them everything.
I did the opposite, which is weird. But
Well, most people do either the same or the opposite.
yeah.
Most people do. Like I was just on a different path. Like I just did not like the way it made me feel.
Right,
I didn't
right.
like the way it looked. But like you said, you gotta have it. It's something, I don't know what it was in me. Like I
Right.
always had guardian angels.
Oh, we do.
I always had people, to help me, and I always had people that wanted to help me. I always had
your
people that
spirit.
wanted to embrace me and wanted to hug and wanted to do. And I didn't grow up like that.
Right, right.
So now
Right.
I didn't start off giving my kids, that type of love.
Right, right.
It like a shift came.
Right.
Like I felt my mom in my house one day. I was helping my son with his homework. And I said, you don't know 2 + 2. You don't know this.
Oh my God,
And I
my
was
mother used to
screaming to
yeah.
the top of my lungs. And I was like, oh my God, my mother just came in my house.
Boy, I'm doing
everything, the same
yeah.
thing. And I said, you know what, I have to detach from that.
Yeah.
And from that day, I turned into a different parent. My kids will tell you today. They remember when I turned into a different parent. So it was
that's thank God, because some people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that and then I also was like not gonna let her drag me either.
Right.
Like I was like, all apologies and it's changed behavior. That's the best way to show somebody that you are apologetic and you care about them, is to change the behavior that didn't hurt them. And so
show
you
them
can't,
something different.
There's a level of responsibility that you have to heal. I'm here with you to be there. I will be there if you need me to help you navigate the pain that I may have caused or the things that I didn't give you as a parent or you felt you needed that I didn't give you. But I'm also not gonna let you drag me, keep me there.
Right.
So you can stay stuck.
Right.
That's not gonna work either.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a nice, good balance, and I'm super proud of her. I'm really proud of her. She's an amazing mom. I would have never thought in a gazillion years she'd have had 7 children, but you know, and even marrying, she married straight out of college to a college friend. I love my son-in-law.
Okay.
We are in a great space, and I'm really proud of the journey, the path she took. At first, I didn't understand it because I was still learning that I don't think that everybody needs to be married or no, but there's something to be said for being with a partner that you care for and growing with that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a team and as a family. And my daughter, as I watch people talk about it more now, I'm like, I'm so happy that I supported her and didn't make her feel
exactly
and like what I did was
what
the
I
right
did.
way, because her dad was trying to marry me, but all I saw was barefoot, pregnant, and kid, and I was just like, oh God, I got dreams, I got dreams, like when I look at that, and he's gonna be one of the if he does it, it's either him and his wife is really really sweet. I did the foreword for her book, and I would. He's one of the people I would love to interview because because we, as young as we went through foolish stuff, but we were mature enough to co-parent and get through it. You know what I mean? And be there for her and make her the most important thing. So and I love that's my guy.
That. I love that you even have a relationship, with your daughter's father. I wish I had a relationship with my kids' fathers, but it is what it is. And everybody, and I can't be in control. I talked to a pastor about it, and he said you can't be in control of other people's feelings, other people's healing,
right? Right.
That's their journey.
That's right.
And just like you said about your daughter, but don't let that pull you down.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they have to deal with.
Right.
Right. And just be open for whenever the day come. If you feel like,
because you're okay. Because
if you feel like
your children will know.
That's the that's
you don't
how
have to
it
say
goes.
anything.
It's like, okay, just because you ready on me, I'm gonna be ready. When I'm ready on me, you're gonna be ready.
Exactly.
It's just like coming to that common place. You don't know when it's gonna be.
Right.
Right.
So I just try to. People are gonna people. We're all gonna we're gonna do us.
Yeah. People
and
be
it's
people.
It's about forgiveness doesn't mean allowing people just to, forgiveness doesn't mean boundaryless. As long as you keep your boundaries in place, because boundaries are very healthy.
Right. Very healthy.
And you have to respect your own boundaries as well for someone else to respect them.
I find myself not respecting my boundaries often.
You have to. Every now and then it happens. You catch yourself.
Yep.
Because if you don't, who the hell else will? Because that you have to enforce them. And that's not a wall. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse just to kind of keep people out and keep people, but just
create the boundaries.
Create the boundaries to keep you
stick
safe.
to your own boundaries.
Exactly. Yep.
So let's get back to business. That was whew. I was ready to just throw this. Let's make this because a lot of us are having a lot of problems with parenting. And especially like us, I had my son when I was 25.
Right.
You were young when you had your daughter
19.
as well.
You were fairly
19
at a decent age.
Yeah. So it was like, even at a fairly decent age, me navigating, I was modeling.
Yeah.
I was acting. I was on all the things.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I was living my best life.
Exactly.
And then here I go, I get pregnant. So trying to be a parent during that time and not understanding if this is even what I want.
Right.
I always tell Chance, listen, you got here on the wing of the prayer, honey.
That's why his name is Chance. That's why his name is Chance.
Yeah, that's why his name is Chance. Exactly. That's exactly why his name is Chance.
We think about the things like that. Some kind of a wonderful name. It's awesome, but
exactly.
Boy, you made it. I'm surprised Kippy named Chance. But it's so funny. But yeah. But parenting is about shepherding, right? And it's you don't own no souls because it's like you're just shepherding them
Yeah.
the best way you can.
Yeah.
They're not an extension of you. That's what I think
That's
people
the
have to get out of
thing.
their mind. It's because it's ego. A lot of parents, it's an ego thing. A lot of people have children so they can feel loved. Like they may not have had that. You know, women just having kids, just, you
Yeah.
know, no man, no partner, no husband.
Right.
Because I'm you know, my views have changed a lot. You know, I think people would be surprised about how my views have changed on having children out
ain't the
of
same.
wedlock. It's
Like the
just,
things that we were going through in the 90s
we
and the
got
early
told
2000s,
bullshit.
shit is just not the same. And I'm sure the business is not the same.
It's not. Oh hell
Right?
no, it's not even. No.
How has it changed from then to now? Like how has it affected
Well,
you?
I was in a machine, so the 3 hours that I have were I was a part of a huge machine, and I had to really navigate. I had to. Well, I didn't do anything. I call them my dark ages, where I was like figuring it out, and I was, you know, jaded, and I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I was doing plays. That was how I was getting my money, and then, you know, just kind of being like, you know, an athlete's girlfriend, and just, you know, being kind of just cool. You know what I mean? Not having to do anything.
Right.
And then you know, then here comes, you know, working with Nikki, and here comes R&B Divas, and an opportunity, you know, to, you know, I meet somebody that I knew instantaneously I probably would be with for the duration of my years, and an opportunity to tell my story my way, and not, you know, tell my story from me.
Right.
The one who lived it.
Right. Right.
And I, you know, I don't really have an area, pretty transparent when you know, I mean, I keep some things for me, but the overall gist is, you know, hey, this is where I was at, this is what I was doing, this is why, you know, and here I am.
Right.
You know, I'm still me. God's grace and mercy has sustained me and kept me. And yeah.
Yeah. How was it working with the fantastic Angie Stone?
Angie was first of all, Angie is one of the spirits. Like, you know, we had our, you know, personalities are personalities, right? Angie was a Sag. Loved Angie because Angie,
but she seems so nurturing, though.
She absolutely was. That was one of the things that I loved about her. She was a team. She was a girl. She was a team person. She was about the collective.
Yeah.
That was real about her. You know what I'm saying? She was encouraging. You know, she had character flaws like everybody else.
Like everybody else.
She got on my nerves. Like Angie got on my nerves. Like everybody just because I'm like, girl, you already know, because we done had, you know. But you know, it broke my, but I know what I know about Angie for sure is that she loved and believed, and her faith was so strong that I knew it, like, even though it was a shock and it was sad, because I immediately, when people pass away, I don't go. It's not about them. It's for me. It's about the people that love them, that they're leaving. I immediately start praying for their families and their loved ones. Immediately.
I immediately said, "Oh, the children."
Yep. Especially the children first.
The children.
That's what I think about. You know, I lost my dad young too, so that's kind of like the go-to. So when it was just like, and I had, the last time I saw her, we were doing TV1 honors, and I had to bring her out. She was like just coming out the hospital maybe 2 weeks prior. She was really not well. She could hardly walk, and I walked her out when we came out, and it was like just shocking to see her that frail. But then it was really good to see, you know, as she started to get a little better, and she was doing her, you know, her lives and stuff.
Right.
You know, Angie was a force, and she was a force in her personality. She was a force in her convictions. She was a force in how she loved people, how she showed up, and she made an indelible mark on this music industry. She is the queen of neo soul, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Period. Hands down. That's it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Like even hearing that, and I saw your post on Instagram, and I could see the hurt and I could see, I could see it, I could feel it, and it's different when you feel like when you know people.
Yeah,
I can go and I can touch you. I always feel something different. I got goosebumps right now. I always feel something different. And we all from VA.
Yeah,
all of us, D'Angelo, Angela, all of us is from VA. So it's that love that we give people.
Yeah,
that
come from where we come. Kind of like it's just a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Like even when you see Chris Brown and you and Missy and it's like something that you feel in that
the
you
water
like,
down there.
It's
that's
something
where I'm from. Right, exactly. No, seriously.
That's why for real, guys. Something in the water.
It's true. It is. It's something.
It really is.
Because people would like it's not a whole bunch to. I mean, of course you could get into stuff, but VA is like it's Virginia is. It's not rural, but it's more so. It's not like a lot going on.
Yeah.
Where people can focus
entertain
on
each other.
Right. And you can focus on the things that you like. Here you got mad distractions. The fact that, me, G Dep and Black Rob and because we all grew up together. And Dave East and made it to, is dope. What's his Lord. He just closed his gap. I'm so mad at him.
Who is it?
Cameron.
Oh, Cameron.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Why did you do that? Cam, why did you do that? I'm so mad. You could have did the veneers and everything. Kept that gap. That gap was so cold.
Oh my.
Anyway, Aquarius. He crazy. We both. Yeah, crazy. I love you, Cam.
Oh my goodness! Look, when people get money, they do crazy.
I know.
Things.
Well, I mean, he big had money, but I mean, everybody's doing. I mean, I get fixing up your joints.
They've been had money. They got to find more things to do. People, so let me close my gap now because I got this and I got.
But the gap, like Laura Hutton and people that have gap, there's like something about the way their features sit.
Yeah,
it's like it's supposed to be there.
I used to have a gap.
Really? Well. Okay.
I used to have a gap.
It doesn't look bad,
but I closed mine when I started modeling. But I also had gold teeth.
But you could have did a thing like Laura Hutton, because Laura Hutton's a model.
What she got? Yeah, what she got?
She they had like a thing.
Oh, a thing that they just put in there
to make it. Yeah. Oh. My dentist that did mine.
The early
shout out to Catrice.
That was the early 90s. They wasn't.
She's I
had to get the gold teeth out.
60.
I didn't know what the.
I'm about to give me some grills to the bottom.
Like from BA, we were putting ours in for real. They were shaving the tooth down.
What?
Yeah,
y'all crazy as hell. Look,
shaving the tooth down and putting the golds in. So when they took the gold out, it was just like a little skinny tooth. So I had to.
They were they crazy. They crazy as hell. Baby,
yeah.
Nobody told y'all crazy people that
it was crazy. So when I started modeling,
they just taking y'all money.
I was smelling like this. They'd be like, Rochelle, can you give me more excitement? Because they wanted to go,
right, yeah.
And I'm like,
that's hilarious. That's hysterical.
So I had to take the golds out.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I love it. I am not bad. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So as much as things has changed in the music business, how has it affected you financially?
It's rough to the mug. But
because I know for me, my business is rough.
Ooh, baby. Well, y'all got the new. It's a whole thing.
It's rough.
So, but the 90s are all the rage right now, I guess. And I thank you to the youth for half of y'all for making music that is kind of low vibration, not kind of very low vibrational, and then the other half that are kind of going back into the digging in the crates and remembering the music they grew up on and kind of giving that feel back. But and so I'm able to work. That hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
I've R&B Divas gave me a new audience of a little bit of younger demographic and older because based on just what I was sharing, having my wife on there, having Therese on there, and sharing my whole entire life from my relationship with my daughter to my relationship, my love relationship, and sharing, the journey I was on, trying to figure it out if I was even still, wanting to do music. And it's been a journey,
Mhm.
but I'm working a lot, so I'm very grateful.
I love it.
I'm working, so
Love it.
and I'm going to keep that train running. I'm creative. I have, I'm working on a one woman show.
Mhm.
I really want to work on my acting and kind of focus on that, directing, and producing
It's so
things.
many things.
There's so many things I can do.
It's so
I'm
many.
like, I just need to do them.
Mhm.
You know, the Monifah thing, wonderful. I could always, that's who I am.
Mhm.
That's not something I take off.
Mhm.
So I can, God willing, always fall back into, being able to perform and stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
But the
And
other
that
things I
music
want
never
to
goes
do,
out of style. The music
thank
never
God,
goes out
thank
of
thank God,
style.
thank
I
God.
will play any of your songs, and my daughter be like, "Oh, wow, what's this?
Oh,
Wow, who is
wow,
this? What's this?"
wow.
I just Monifah.
And I
She be
downplay
like
like,
Monifah. I'm like, cause she only 19, so
right, she's
she's
a
like,
baby.
yeah, she's like. But when I start playing, music like old music, but my kids are
From
always
your,
inspired.
yeah.
I was cleaning out my storage the other day.
Uh-huh.
I found 2 crates of albums
Oh,
talking about old sound. 2
right.
crates of albums.
Albums.
I called my son. I said, Chance, do you have a record player? He goes, no. I said, well, I have these 2 crates of albums. Chance is a sound engineer.
Right, I know. Yep.
I said, you need to come and get these albums, and I'm gonna buy you a record player. He texts me, oh my God, I
Yeah.
just got a great idea. I'm like, but I've been telling you this. I've been
Yeah.
telling when he became a sound engineer.
Yeah.
I said, look through these albums. He's like,
Start
oh.
producing.
He said, what are those things? Why they so big? Why they
so big?
Why they? Because some of them just got one record
on it. Yeah.
And some of them got 3 albums.
Three.
You can flip it.
Yep.
2 on one side, 3 on the other side.
Yep.
He got that record player last week. When it got those crazy albums, he has not stopped playing that music. I said it's gonna keep you going.
The frequency is high.
Yes,
that was music.
Yes, and
there's a
nothing is new
frequency
under
that
the
is
sun.
on.
Nothing.
But there's a frequency that music
It's a
was on.
frequency it was on.
That period. That's it. That had never. That's it. And
we just don't have it right
90s,
now. Yeah.
80s, 80s, 90s had it.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the mid 2000s, because it's more advantageous for the pockets.
What advantageous mean?
Advantageous. It makes it benefits.
Okay.
It benefits the powers that be, the labels. There's a whole. It's socioeconomic. It's social. It's capitalism. It's all the things. Because if you notice, like shoot, kill, death. Those are easy to get out and played on the radio. Very easy. But it was harder, for the likes of Tribe Called Quest and those types of groups because they're out there.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't exist. Shout out to Red Lotus, who I think is amazing. Shout out to you, kid. I mean, kid in the slang way, not like kid. But, kid. All right. Shout out to you, young man. I really dig your sound. And it is reminiscent of all of the what he's talking about, and it's socially aware. And those weren't the things that the records that and groups that these labels were signing. They wanted the kill music and the low frequency music because it's easy to keep people in a loop that way.
I'm happy that you even said that about our young people and the drill music. And the drill music and
what are we talking about?
I don't know. Thank you. That's what I want to ask you. What type of advice do you have for these kids that want to be in the music business and they're looking for something to say?
If you got to look for something to say, you probably don't have nothing to say. I would say find out who you are. And this music is like, to me, the music game is like the streets. The streets don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do this, you got to do it because you got something to say, and and this is, or you've already got a body of work that thank God people still want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Because even it's hard for me to even go in and with all the things that I have locked up in me, I still it's hard for me to just sit down and be creative that way.
Right.
Because and I want to be. But I have so much music sitting waiting, but I would tell them, figure yourself out, right? Learn a trade, or well, I don't even know where you could go to learn a trade anymore because they've obliterated so many things that
And
kept
the
us
trade is
being
what they
able to
need.
exactly
Trade is what
kept
they
us being able to
need.
take care of ourselves
Yes.
and own our own businesses and be fruitful, right? We all can. I mean, we can. Everybody's selling, I mean, merch is one thing, but
Everybody want to
figure
be
it
an
out.
entrepreneur.
Get into tech,
Everybody
man.
want to, yeah.
Get in it. We need people in tech. We need techs. We need people in biochemistry. We need scientists.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we are them. We built pyramids.
Yes.
We built, you know what I'm
I
saying?
still don't know for the life of me. For the life of me, how did they build something that high without the machinery that we have today?
Because it's bigger than human, because there were beings and otherworldly things that were happening that they're trying to take us way far away from with this religion stuff. They're trying to take us way, 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 way far away from what was really going down.
Right.
Do you understand? There were bigger people. There were and we were there was
That's what I say. It had to be a bigger person.
Right, no, but then there was also terrestrial
power
power that we were connected to that we're no longer tapped into because of being colonized and taken away from what our true what we're truly connected to in a spiritual way.
What's something that we had then that you wish we could get back? Because shit ain't the same.
Shit ain't the same. I would have to say socialization, like really like the community, like real sense of community, how we grew up. Miss Patty could say something to you, Miss Val, if saw you doing something, you're gonna get corrected. The healthy respect of your elders, and elders not being afraid to correct children because children had a healthy respect and fear, of they respected them like they were their parents. And I think the loss of community is which happened because of the crack epidemic, heroin being filtered in the 60s, and a lot of things just it was on purpose, and the breakdown of the family became the breakdown of the community, and the breakdown of the relationship of people, the relationship, and caring about each other, as of course there were things going on. It's always, that's just what it is. But there was a different level of connection, and if that would be what I would want us to get back to.
Right.
We had fun. Like if we had a beef, we're gonna fight. We're not necessarily,
gonna kill each other.
You might get sliced.
Yeah.
But
you ain't gonna die.
But you ain't gonna, right. You're probably not gonna die.
Yeah.
But fist fights and fun. Like it's just,
they were fun.
Yeah.
and when you wasn't getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, I wasn't a fighter like that, but
I was always getting my ass kicked. So to go back on it wasn't that fun. But if I had to say,
no, I'm just saying, like, not
yeah,
if you had an altercation, it was like
I prefer what I went through than what
might be able to happen to me
Exactly.
walking down the street just because a little kid has no regard or doesn't even have anybody that he's close to, that he can't even garner respect for. He doesn't respect anybody.
No.
He doesn't have anybody. He might have been a band, like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? We got all kinds of things and reasons why.
Because they don't respect old people.
No, man.
They don't respect, elders, period.
Period.
Nobody. And they're not afraid of anything. I woke up being afraid of, when I grew up being afraid of my mother.
Right.
And now I understand it wasn't about being, it wasn't about, you scared of her? Yeah, I'm scared of her. I respected her.
Healthy fear.
No matter what she did.
Right.
I respected my mother in that space.
That's right.
100%.
Me too.
100%.
Yeah.
So when we used to see the police, we used to run.
Right.
We used to we didn't want to come into contact with the police. We didn't want to. We were afraid of the police. These people ain't afraid of no police.
Exactly.
They were like, oh, Popo, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yep.
Smoking while they driving, texting and stuff while they drive on the phone still while they drive. I had to tell my kids all the time, listen,
and like, stop
doing that. real, like they
I
just
be on
don't
YouTube like,
care.
did they just do this for
They
real?
just yes.
Yeah, I was like, people be
Yes.
wilding with the cop, and it's not about it's about the authority. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna. We all know that the law enforcement system can stand an overhaul.
Mhm.
That there's a lot of things that, but there's something to be said about having respect for authority and the decorum and order and things happening in a certain way. And
100%.
I still, if I'm still saying excuse me if there's an elderly a person older than me and I'm cursing.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry. Or if I
Yes.
curse in front of somebody's children.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, baby, I'm sorry.
Or somebody else's mother.
Right, period. Anybody
Doesn't
older,
matter.
right, period. I'm
Yes.
just that, oh, sorry. That's
Good
just
morning.
how I
Good
was
evening.
raised. Yeah, good
That
morning,
part. Good
hello.
morning. Good evening.
Did we sleep together? I
My
didn't
mother
wake
would
up.
smack me in my mouth if I come in somebody's house and don't speak.
And don't speak. That's craziness.
I don't understand that. I can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, no.
For the life of me.
Yeah, and that's the things. And I'm just glad that my daughter got it. My grandkids got it.
Yep.
And because we gave our kids that.
Yes.
So they got it.
They got it.
I don't care how young, Chances 90. She has respect.
She has it. She has it 100%.
Yep.
And people come up to me and tell me how respectful my kids are.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they're so respectful. They're so this, so that. And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I had to stop changing people. I just don't call me Miss Rochelle. But I
know
get
I was
it.
the same way. Yes.
I let them
do. Yeah. Because you earned it.
Because you see the respect that they have.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Or aunt this person,
right,
aunt that person, or whatever. That is the respect that they're giving
a reverence.
us.
That's a reverence. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's reverence.
Exactly.
And we earned that. Yes, it's reverence, and I got a 30-year-old niece. I call her my niece. She calls me Auntie Mo.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we hang out and we cool, there is a there's a level of respect that she has for me,
and then a level of respect.
And I have to remember that. Keeps me in my space too. It keeps me in my wisdom. It keeps me in my higher self.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because we do owe it to each other. We do. We're responsible for each other.
And by the way, I love seeing you and your wife together. Like that whole thing, like the whole dynamic with y'all. That whole. I love it. I love it, and just being like I
it's my best friend.
I love it. I love it. And see, I didn't understand when my father was telling me. He said, yeah, your person should also be your best friend.
Yeah.
And if you're with someone that you can't tell them what you tell your best friend, then that's not the person for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that dynamic. I didn't understand it. It's like the most embarrassing things that I'll be like, well, I wouldn't tell my person that, but I'll tell my best friend that.
Right.
Like it's some things that I just told my best friend. And I was like, if she's my best friend, I'm a Libra.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When's your birthday? Because
October
so was
21st.
Rez. Okay, so was Rez. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So it's some things that I wanted to tell her, and I said, you know what? I said, let me test this relationship. Let me see how this thing really works.
Right.
So I told her some things that I have never told her before. Right. And she was like, I wish you would have told me that, because I would have told you, because I was things that I was just so embarrassed about. That I felt like I couldn't share. I felt like I didn't know what she was going to think, but I wasn't going to take the chance either.
What do you think was going to happen if she's your friend?
I don't know.
That was you. That's your stuff.
It was all me.
No, I'm just saying that's your stuff.
And she's a Libra as well.
That's hilarious.
But it was all 100% me. Because sometimes we sit in that embarrassment so long, and we start making it a part of us. Yeah. And it's just like I feel like people can see it even if I don't say anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then once I told her, she was just like, girl, I wish you would have told me that, because I would do right. You wouldn't even. Yeah. We wouldn't even did this. We wouldn't even did that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that that's why you did that. Right. I didn't know that. Right. So now it's like, okay, cool. If if and when I meet somebody, because I'm single now. Yeah. If and when I meet somebody, I'll just be like, you know what, this is what it is. Right. And that's. Yeah. I mean, except that, of course, the male female dynamic is a little different, but I don't think so. At this big age, we grown. We done seen it all. It ain't no. There's. Yeah. Look, Let it go.
Tomorrow, right.
Let it
Like
go.
if tomorrow, because I always say this, because even if, tomorrow we decided that we were going to go our separate ways, that's my friend, that's my family. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a life partner.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
We both been on the side of, man, I want to get out of here. Like we both been there. Like
We both been there.
deuces. Like I'm out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
this. We've been married 10 years, together 14. You think that shit was just all? No,
Yeah.
especially when especially for me, as she was someone that was very integral in me seeing myself. Her mirror was very clear, right? Because of who she was
Right.
and the stuff that she's worked through on herself.
On herself.
Her mirror was so clear. I was able to see myself so clearly.
Wow.
And her honesty and her support was just like the recipe for me to be able just to go ham and really see myself and really and then have that soft space to land.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And still give myself grace and have somebody else give me grace. You know what I mean? So for just that reason alone, you know what I mean? Because everything else ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
Passion up and down. That's all the things,
Yeah.
those are those are things that are gonna ebb and flow and come and go and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but what doesn't wane is and doesn't fluctuate is the love
Right.
and the friendship
Mm-hmm.
and love, not the in love, because that also,
Right.
that's, I don't even, whatever, what is
Yeah.
that? Love and
Love.
commitment to the structure, the family, the connection,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is what keeps people together if
Right.
you really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the other stuff you could work on and just,
Right.
figure that out.
Right. So what's next for Monifah?
I am working on television show for
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
My one woman theatrical production.
Okay.
And getting I don't know, maybe some workout stuff and just maybe just sharing my journey.
Yeah.
Because we all struggling in some way.
Yes,
we need
we
to know we're not alone.
are.
That's always been my thing. Like
100%.
I don't want people. You're not alone. Like even her, even me. You
Even
know
me,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because people tend to think because you're known by the people
Yeah.
or you're on this idiot box that you just got it all. Well, but we know that because the fourth one's been broken.
100%.
But we're getting it now.
Yes.
But still, there's still some semblance. Look, child,
Yes.
please. I have the same struggles, same hangups. I'm taking care of a senior mom. My mom's 85. I'm her primary caregiver. You know what I'm saying? I take care of her.
Right.
That is a big deal. That's a community within itself.
It's a big deal.
You know what
taking
I'm
care,
saying?
Yeah.
And thankfully she's not. She still can live in her house alone. I got the rings cameras all over the place.
Okay.
She's good, even though her memory but she in her space she's good.
She's fine.
I go. I take care of. I shop. Take her out. We're good. But it's still. That's a lot. I'm
Right.
traveling. That's like, somebody else. There's a lot of things to consider. So, I'm living life and I'm balancing.
I love
I'm
it.
balancing. I'm balancing life and trying to stay grateful and knowing that everything that's happening to me is not happening to me, it's happening for me.
yeah.
And I feel that way about the larger picture, what we're dealing with this government, what we're watching happen
Yes.
in America, which I'm definitely trying to not be fearful, but just very clear.
Right.
And I want to say that the thing that we allow to happen to, this is just a term for not, because it's not lesser than the least of us. The things that we allow to happen to trans people, to immigrants, and not disabled, what they call it, um, um, able, I forgot the term, but people that are disabled mentally, physically, what we allow this government to do to those people, it's just a test to see how far they can go until it's all of us. It's not, the plan is for everyone.
Right.
The plan is about money. The plan is for all of us to be shipped off somewhere.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
If we don't fit this I don't know how many people watch The Handmaid's Tale, but if you haven't, you should check it out, because this totalitarian, authoritarian situation, this oligarch, all of this is this is a blueprint.
Yeah.
Project 2025 is real.
Yep.
There's two sides of this thing that are actually about to come to blows, but just be aware. You can't expect to be silent while people's rights are stripped away, human rights are stripped away, and not expect you to be next.
Right.
That's not how this shit works.
Exactly. And DEI is not just about Black people.
Absolutely.
People
We're like the fifth in line that
exactly.
benefited.
People think that
No,
is
that-
about Black people. It's not about Black people. You know.
Again, if nobody else told you, the biggest demographic to benefit from DEI was first white women.
White women.
And I think next was
all of the white women CEOs. All
right.
the white women.
Yeah, the higher.
All
they
of
had
that.
to do yes.
All of that.
That had nothing to do with Black folk were on the probably like fifth in line. I can't remember, but I know white women were first.
Yep.
And I can't remember who's second. I can't remember. I just forgot.
Disabled people.
Right. Just
like,
because you have no idea what this world is going to look like. I'm going to tell you what it looks like. It's going to look like this administration. And I just have to say this every time when I hear them speak, when I watch the press secretary, when I watch the president of the United States, when I watch the fake the whatever security, this whole administration, it reminds me of the Haribo commercial.
The who?
Haribo, the candy, the gummy, like the little candies. Haribo has this commercial. Look it up, guys, on YouTube. It reminds me of that commercial because they're in the boardroom and they're adults and they're talking. And as soon as they eat the candy, they turn into little kids.
Oh yes,
and that is what this administration.
Yes,
you got a bunch
I know that.
of egomaniacal, mentally ill. Sociopathic.
No, I agree.
White supremacists in office.
Yes.
And if you don't think that everything that they're doing is designed to keep them in power and keep white men in power, because even the women that they have working for them are not going to be. It's a mess. It's a whole mess, and they're trying to get us back off this land.
And right now, if you're not a rich white man,
right,
you're having a hard time.
Yeah. Period.
Honestly.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. We been here first. Let's start there. We've been here. We know what to do.
Yeah.
When times get.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We weren't the ones jumping out of windows in the Depression.
No.
First of all, because the financial dynamic was the disparity was crazy. We didn't have that, on a whole that way. We did,
right?
But then they, dropped bombs on our towns and stuff that were doing economically incredible,
right?
I'm not even gonna lie and say that I wouldn't even think about a level of segregation. Why wouldn't that work again? Because we had our own.
Yeah.
It was working just fine. I'm not saying we can't.
They would not be able to. I mean, I don't know why.
Because we have all the culture.
Exactly.
How would they function?
Why they think they could do this thing without us? I don't understand for the life of me.
I don't either.
Why y'all think that?
I mean, it's okay. It's the flavor. You need seasoning. You got to have seasoning. I don't know.
You got to have it.
It's just, and we know how to work with people. We're the most open, forgiving, loving people that's walking this earth. Innately.
Yes.
Now, we're all in this system of capitalism and self. But but innately, we're good people. We're good folk. We believe we thrive better in community. We thrive better in a communal space. We do. So this shit ain't working for us. We really need to get back to that. And think about getting your visa and figuring out where would make sense for you to outside of America live, and I would say start looking at Thailand. There's a huge community of us.
I'm looking as well.
Thailand,
I
Spain,
looked in Panama.
Yeah. Some say Costa Rica. Mexico is my joint. I would love to get some land and be there. Because of the weather and. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love
I
that.
think we all need to start looking.
Yeah, we need to.
What, yeah, what would it look like?
Yeah.
Because it's a few places that we can go and have a visa for 3 months and see
Yep.
how
And
it
then
see how,
there's ways that you
especially if
can
you work
get
from home.
residency. Yep.
Especially if you work from home.
Yes.
I always thought about it for me because I don't work from home.
Right.
I work with my hands.
Right.
But I was doing this young lady, she lives in Germany, and she was like, Rochelle, you could do this in
You
Germany.
can do this anywhere. Yeah,
Girl,
especially in Germany.
they got
Yes.
so many black
Yes, it's communities.
groups and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
They drop your name in there. Oh, Rochelle's here doing hair, whatever.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Like you could do this anywhere. Don't let just because you working with your hands and your clientele is New York and in New Jersey.
Yeah.
No, sis. She said you could do this anywhere.
You can. I watch people do it all the time. You just gotta step out on faith.
Yeah.
You got this. I'm just saying, don't be afraid. This word. That's why I'm so glad that my mother gave me culture. Like we did things. I knew that there were more than the 4 blocks that I grew up on.
Right.
There was so much more to the world.
So much
She
more.
traveled for work. She would take me whenever she could. Like and then being singing background for Maxi Priest being my first job. I was on his world tour for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was, I got to see the world, and I would implore. I'm so glad I'm seeing more of us travel. That it's becoming more of a thing to see the world, because it's not that big. The world isn't that big. It's actually much smaller than it feels.
Than we think.
If you get outside of your environment, and you'll understand things that your mind starts to expand.
Right.
Right. It doesn't stay closed in.
I 100% agree.
Really
if you guys ever get some time, a couple of hours to go somewhere.
Yes.
Somewhere outside
of the Caribbean.
Yes, outside of the Caribbean. Somewhere outside of the Caribbean.
Let's take it up. Australia is beautiful. Very similar to the United States, but it's like different.
But different.
I love Australia. I could live there too. I could do
I
New
haven't
Zealand.
been to Australia.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go. I love it there. That's another place that I would think about, especially being an artist and being able to and I can work and blah blah blah. But it's to really really just look into just get the internet. The World Wide Web is the best thing, because YouTube University is the best thing, because you can actually, people talk about and share their blog, their vlogs, and there's a lot of
places,
wealth of information. And you gotta go. You gotta know where it's safe for us to be. You know what I'm saying? You want to know that. I definitely want to visit Ghana.
Right.
I mean, as a queer woman, I mean, any country, Muslim or not or whatever, you just got to be very careful about where I am. But I definitely want to visit. I want to see what that feels like.
Right.
And I know there's communities of queer, and I'm not I'm just a person.
Yeah.
I hate the my wife is, I'm an advocate for humanity and human rights. She's she's a flag, carrier. I love it. I love that for her and about her. And she,
And we ain't trying to change that.
And I'm definitely not. But I just, there's places I want to visit and see.
Right.
Because I would love to. When I went to Africa, it was beautiful.
Right.
I went to South Africa for 24 hours. It was a whole bunch of us. It was a big concert.
Okay.
But I want to go back and just.
And really
see
it.
everything.
Yeah,
Khaleesi's over there now.
Oh, really?
She got some land, and she's, she got her
I know
thing
she
going.
farming and doing her stuff.
I was like, I'm coming. She was like, you would love it. I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, so I was gonna. That. She's like, if you go on her page, you'll see, because she's over there now. And
okay, cool. So, I love it.
So check her out.
This was good talking to you.
Thank you, Ro.
I mean, I'm so happy you came.
Me too. I'm happy we finally got it together.
Yes,
I've been working
everything. The music business, the parenting. Our parents.
Yep.
It's just, it's like, I hope this conversation inspired a lot of y'all. Even brought tears out of my eyes. I was not even expecting that.
Sometimes that's what it is.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all. Shit ain't the same.
Shit ain't the same.
I'm super authentic.
Yeah.
Super authentic. And I want people to learn from the things and that I have experienced and things that I haven't even experienced. And I'm sitting here and I'm able to talk to people about their experiences and see how we can come together. Look, we're more the same than we are different.
That is a fact. That's an absolute fact.
Yeah, we are. But this was good.
Thanks, babe.
This is fantastic. I love you.
Love you back. Whew. Y'all stay tuned in.
Please stay tuned, y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe and share and hit that little bell, okay? This has been Shit Ain't the Same. Till next time.
So that's